The moon was a silent, dead place. Rocks and dust stretched in every direction, creating a landscape of endless gray and black. Gina moved carefully, her breathing controlled inside her worn environmental suit. Each step kicked up tiny clouds of moon dust that hung suspended in the low gravity. Her supplies were almost gone. 3 days had passed since the attack that destroyed her colony ship. 3 days of absolute loneliness. 3 days of hoping someone might find her, knowing deep down that hope was fading fast. The suit's oxygen indicator blinked red. Half tank left. Not much time. Gina's eyes scanned the rocky terrain. Her people, the Caldarians, were not warriors. They were researchers, scientists who studied the universe's deepest mysteries. Now she was the only one left. The memory of the attack burned in her mind. Massive ships appearing from nowhere, energy weapons cutting through her colony's defenses like they were made of paper. Something metallic caught her eye. At first, she thought it was another rock. But the shine was too perfect, too smooth. Gina moved closer, her gloved hand reaching out to brush away a layer of moon dust. Underneath was a piece of machine. No, not just a piece, a large section of a spacecraft. Her heart raced. This was no ordinary wreckage. As she cleared more dust, she saw the outline of a fighter. It was unlike any ship design she had ever studied. The shape reminded her of a bird of prey, sleek, dangerous. Even in its damaged state, scorch marks covered its surface, and one wing was almost completely torn away. Gina knew she should be careful. But curiosity had always been her weakness. She had been a researcher after all. Knowledge was more important than fear. She found an entry point and used her emergency cutting tool to create an opening. The metal gave way with a sharp hiss. Carefully, she climbed inside. The interior was dark. Her suit's small emergency light illuminated twisted metal and broken control panels. But something moved in the shadows. Gina froze. A soft sound, like a breath, or a mechanical whimper. She moved her light slowly, carefully. And then she saw him. A human, trapped in what looked like a pilot's seat. His flight suit was torn and burned. Blood, red and thick, covered parts of his body. Cybernetic implants on his arms sparked occasionally, creating small blue-white flashes in the darkness. He was alive, but barely. Gina knew her history. Humans and Caldarians had never been close. Her people had mostly avoided direct contact with other species, preferring to observe and study from a distance. Humans were known to be aggressive, often solving problems with force rather than understanding. But he was dying, and she was a healer. Her medical training kicked in. Professional, calm. She approached the human, checking his vital signs with a small scanner from her suit's emergency kit. Pulse, weak but present. Breathing, shallow. Injuries, severe. The scanner showed multiple internal damages, broken ribs, a punctured lung, damaged cybernetic systems that were slowly failing. If she did nothing, he would die within hours. Gina took a deep breath. Her people had a saying, "Life recognizes life." It didn't matter that he was human. It didn't matter that their species had little in common. He was alive, and she could help. Decision made, Gina began her careful rescue. Gina worked quickly. Her hands moved with a purpose that came from years of medical training. The damaged ship's interior was cold and dark, but her suit's emergency systems provided just enough light to see. The human looked worse up close. His face was covered in small cuts and bruises. Strange metal pieces, cybernetic implants, were half broken and stuck in his skin. Some sparked weakly, sending tiny blue flashes across his cheeks. First, she needed to stop the bleeding. Gina opened her emergency medical kit. It was designed for Caldarian biology, but she knew basic medical principles worked across many species. She pulled out special healing patches and a universal coagulant spray. Her fingers, protected by thin medical gloves, moved carefully. The spray first. It would seal the worst wounds and stop internal bleeding. Then the patches, they would help tissue regeneration and prevent infection. As she worked, the human made a small sound. Not quite a groan. More like a mechanical whisper. His eyes remained closed, but his breathing changed. Slightly stronger, slightly more regular. Gina checked her scanner again. The readings were interesting. His body was more machine than organic in some places. Advanced cybernetic systems were integrated deeply into his muscles and bones. This was far beyond any medical technology her people had used. A small device on his wrist caught her attention. It looked like a communication system. Gina carefully removed her glove and touched it. Instantly, a holographic display flickered to life. Broken images appeared. Fragments of star maps. Tactical information. Mission logs. She couldn't read everything, but some words were clear. Mission. Radar tracking. Location. Sector 7 Gamma. Status. Critical. Radar tracking. The same raiders who destroyed her colony ship. Chunho. His name was Chunho. At least, that's what the communication device showed when it displayed his personal information. The ship around them seemed to hum. Not with an engine sound, but with something else. Something almost alive. Gina looked around. The damaged control panels occasionally sparked. Lights blinked in strange patterns. She realized the ship was more than just a machine. Something about it felt different. Water was her next problem. The human, Junho, needed fluids. Her medical kit had universal hydration tablets. She crushed one and mixed it with water from her emergency supply. Using a small medical injector, she carefully administered the fluid. His cybernetic systems were fascinating. They seemed to be trying to heal him, but were badly damaged. Some parts worked perfectly. Others were broken. It was like looking at a complex puzzle where half the pieces were missing. Gina knew she was taking a risk. Helping the human was not something her people typically did, but she was a scientist first, and a healer. Life was life, no matter the species. Hours passed. She monitored his condition carefully. The healing patches did their work. His breathing became more stable. The worst wounds started to close. Outside the ship, the moon remained silent. Dust continued to settle. Stars watched through the broken ship's windows. Chunho remained unconscious, but he was alive. And Gina was determined to keep him that way. 2 days passed. Chunho still did not wake up, but something strange was happening inside the ship. Gina noticed it first when she was checking his medical patches. The ship seemed to be listening. When she touched a control panel, lights would flicker. When she spoke, something in the background would hum softly. "Hello," she said one time. The ship's lights blinked in response. Her scanner showed something even more strange. The ship's computer was not like any system she had studied before. It was almost alive. Not just a computer, something more. A voice suddenly crackled through a small speaker. Soft, mechanical, but with something that sounded like emotion. Pilot status. Critical. Recovery protocol active. Gina jumped. She looked around the ship's interior. "Can you understand me?" she asked. "Affirmative," the voice responded. "I am Taeguk. Guardian system. Operational at 43.7% capacity." The name meant something in an old human language. Balance. Protection. Gina learned more about Chunho through Taeguk. He was a special mission pilot. His job was to track and study a group called the Interdimensional Raiders. These were the same raiders who had destroyed her Kildarian colony. The mission was important, Taeguk explained. Its voice changed between male and female tones, sometimes clear, sometimes broken. Chunho carried critical information about raider movement patterns. Gina's medical scanner continued to track Chunho's recovery. His body was strange. Parts of him were organic. Parts were machine. The cybernetic systems worked together like a complex dance. When one part was damaged, another would try to repair it. Food was a problem. Gina's supplies were limited, but Tegak helped. A small compartment opened in the ship's wall. Inside were emergency nutrition packets, designed for human biology. Pilot nutritional requirements, Tegak said, must be maintained. She mixed the packets into a liquid, used a medical tube to feed Chunho slowly. Her hands were careful, her movements precise. The moon outside remained silent. Rocks and dust stretched in every direction. But inside the ship, life continued. Tegak told stories about human history, about space missions, about the fight against the raiders. Gina listened. She was a researcher. Information was her passion. The raiders destroy civilizations, Tegak explained. They take technology. They kill populations. No mercy. Gina understood that feeling. Her own people had experienced it. On the third day, something changed. Chunho's fingers moved, just a little, but it was movement. Tegak's lights became brighter. Pilot recovery progression, positive. The ship's system announced. Gina checked his vital signs. Breathing stronger. Brain activity increasing. He was getting better. But wake up or not, Gina knew one thing. She was not alone anymore. A wounded human, a talking ship, and herself, the last of the Keldarian researchers. Something was coming. Something important. Outside, a small meteor passed by the ship's broken window. The universe continued its silent watch. Gina sat beside Junho's still body. The ship, Tegak, was quiet. Soft lights blinked slowly in the background. She knew she had to do something. Tell her story. Maybe the ship would understand. I was not always alone, she began. Her voice was soft, sad. The ship's lights seemed to dim, as if listening. Gina's people, the Keldarians, were not warriors. They were researchers, scientists who loved to learn. Their colony lived on a beautiful planet with 3 moons and purple forests. They studied the universe. They collected information. They believed in peace. We thought knowledge was protection, she said to the silent ship. We were wrong. Tegak's speakers made a small sound, like a sigh. The raiders came without warning. Massive ships appeared in the sky. Their weapons were unlike anything her people had seen. Energy beams cut through protective shields. Buildings turned to dust in seconds. Gina remembered that day clearly. She had been in the research center, studying quantum communication patterns. Her colleagues were all around her. Brilliant minds, kind people. Then everything changed. Explosions everywhere. Screams. Panic. The building shook. People running. Alarms blasting. I was recording research data when the first attack happened, she told the ship. Her fingers moved, remembering how she had pressed buttons on her computer. I could have died with everyone else, but I was in a protected research room. Protected, but alone. When the attack finished, she went outside. The entire colony was gone. Burned. Destroyed. Nothing remained except broken buildings and dust. Tegak's lights flickered. The ship seemed to understand her pain. Why? She asked. Why did they attack us? We were not a threat to anyone. The ship's computer responded. Raiders seek technology. Destroy potential resistance. Collect data. Eliminate competition. Gina's hands shook. She looked at Chunho, still unconscious, still healing. We had important research, she continued. Quantum communication technologies. Methods to send information across impossible distances. Instant communication between galaxies. That was why the raiders came. Not for land, not for resources, but for knowledge. She had managed to save some research data. Small memory crystals hidden in her emergency kit. The last pieces of her people's scientific legacy. Outside, moon dust continued to settle. Silent. Patient. Tegak's voice came again. Softer this time. Mission continues. Information must survive. Gina looked at the wounded human, at the talking ship, at her own hands The hands of the last Kildarian researcher. Yes, she whispered. The mission continues. A small light on Junho's medical monitor changed color. Something was happening. Something was about to change. The universe watched, waiting. Something moved. Jinna noticed first. A small twitch, a finger, then another movement. Junho's eyes opened. They were not like normal human eyes. Part of them looked mechanical. Small lights flickered inside the iris. Blue and green colors changed quickly. He looked around the ship's interior with quick, sharp movements. Jinna froze. The human saw her. His eyes locked onto her face. She was not human. Her skin had a light green color. Her eyes were larger. Her ears were slightly pointed. But she had saved his life. Who are you? Junho's voice was rough, broken. My name is Jinna, she answered. You were badly hurt. Taeguk's lights blinked. The ship's computer spoke. Pilot recovery. 68.3% complete. Junho tried to move. Pain crossed his face. His cybernetic parts made small clicking sounds. Some systems were still damaged. Stay still, Jinna said. She moved closer. Her medical scanner came out. Your body is still healing. He looked suspicious. Humans and Kildarians had little contact before. Most human encounters with her species had been from a distance. Research ships passing in space. Quick communications, nothing more. How long? Junho asked. 4 days, Jinna answered. You were badly injured when I found you. Junho's mechanical eye zoomed in, focused on her, scanned her body for threats, then relaxed. The mission, he said. The raiders. Taeguk's voice came again. Mission data preserved. Primary objective. Tracking interdimensional raider movement patterns. Junho relaxed slightly. The ship had saved the mission data. That was important. Jinna watched carefully. Her medical training told her many things. His body was more machine than human now. Advanced cybernetic systems replaced parts of his muscles. His bones had mechanical supports. He was a special kind of human soldier. You are a research survivor, Junho said. It was not a question. Kildarian, last of your colony. Jinna nodded. And you tracked the raiders who destroyed my people. Something passed between them. Not friendship yet, but understanding. Taeguk's lights changed color. From blue to green, a sign of positive connection. Water, Junho said. His throat was dry. Jinna prepared a special medical drink, designed to help his body recover. She used a medical tube to help him drink. The raiders, Junho said between small drinks. They are coming again. Jinna's hand stopped. What do you mean? My mission, he explained. I was tracking their new movement patterns. They are planning something big, something dangerous. Outside, the moon remained silent. Dust continued to settle. But inside the ship, something important was happening. A connection was forming between a wounded human, a Kildarian researcher, and a talking ship. The universe watched, waiting. Days passed. Junho grew stronger. The ship, Taeguk, helped him recover. Tell me everything about the raiders, Jinna said one morning. Junho's mechanical eye zoomed in, focused, remembered. The raiders were not like normal enemies. They moved between dimensions, jumped through space like water. No normal tracking system could follow them completely. They hunt technology, Junho explained. Not just weapons, knowledge, systems, anything that can give them an advantage. Jinna understood this too well. Her people had been killed for their quantum communication research. Taeguk's computer systems began displaying star maps. Red dots showed raider movement. Blue lines showed prediction paths. The ship was more than a machine. It was thinking. My people developed tracking algorithms, Jinna said. Quantum communication patterns. Maybe we can combine our knowledge. Junho looked at her, really looked at her for the first time. Not as a strange alien, but as a potential partner. Show me, he said. They worked together. Chunho's military training, Gina's research skills, Taeguk's advanced computer systems. Small quantum communication crystals came out, Gina's last connection to her destroyed colony. They looked like small glass marbles, but inside, complex information waited. These contain our research, she explained. Tracking methods that can follow impossible movement. Chunho's cybernetic systems connected to the crystals. Information flowed. His mechanical parts lit up. Blue, green. Patterns of light danced across his skin. Taeguk's voice came. Data integration, 76.4% complete. The ship was helping, connecting their different types of knowledge. The raiders are planning something, Junho said. A big attack. But where? Gina's fingers moved across Taeguk's control panels. Star maps changed. Prediction lines moved. Here, she said suddenly. A small star system appeared. 3 planets. 1 moon. Soft yellow colors. Impossible, Junho said. That's a peaceful research stone. Just like my colony was, Gina answered. They looked at each other. No more stranger. Partners now. Taeguk's lights changed. From blue to green. A sign of agreement. We need a plan, Junho said. Outside, moon dust continued to settle. Stars watched through the broken ship's windows. Something was coming. Something important. The universe waited. The ship moved silently through space. Taeguk's systems were different now. Stronger. Changed. Gina and Junho had worked together for days, connecting her quantum research with his military tracking systems. We have one chance, Junho said. Gina nodded. Her hands moved quickly across the control panels. Her green skin looked different. No longer just a researcher. Now a fighter. The raider outpost appeared on the screen. A massive structure floating between stars. Not a normal base. Something more complex. Layers of dimensional shields protected it. Normal weapons won't work, Junho explained. But our quantum communication method might, Gina answered. Taeguk's computer system blinked. Lights changed from blue to red. Ready for battle. Their plan was simple but crazy. Use Gina's quantum communication research to break through the raiders' dimensional shields. Create a small hole, just big enough for a precise attack. Chunho's cybernetic systems connected directly with Taeguk. His body became part of the ship. Mechanical parts glowed. Information flowed like liquid. Targeting systems ready, Taeguk announced. The first attack would be digital, not physical. A wave of quantum information designed to confuse the raiders' communication systems. Gina's research crystals glowed. Soft yellow light filled the ship's interior. Now, she said, a wave of information burst out. Faster than light. Impossible to track. It hit the raider base's communication systems. For a moment, nothing happened. Then chaos. Raider communication systems went crazy. Red alerts everywhere. Dimensional shields flickered. Strike window open, Taeguk said. 13 seconds. Chunho's hands moved. Precise. Military training taking over. Weapon systems activated. Not normal weapons. Special quantum disruption missiles, designed to break dimensional structures. 3 missiles launched. They moved differently. Not straight, but in strange curved paths, jumping between dimensions. The first missile hit a communication tower. Explosion of blue and green light. The second hit a shield generator. More chaos. The third targeted the base's central system. Massive explosion. Silent in space, but huge on the computer screens. Direct hit, Taeguk announced. Gina and Junho looked at each other. Something had changed between them. No longer strangers. Partners now. We disrupted their communication network, Junho said, and got important information, Gina added. Taeguk's systems continued scanning, collecting data from the destroyed base. Outside, stars continued their silent dance. Space remained vast and dark. But something had changed. A small victory against a powerful enemy. The universe watched, waiting. The ship was different after the attack. Chunho lay on a medical bed. His body changed. More cybernetic parts now. Glowing lines ran across his skin. Blue, green, soft mechanical sounds came from inside him. Gina watched carefully. Her medical training told her something important was happening. The attack changed us, Chunho said. He was right. Their first mission had done more than just hurt the raiders. It had transformed them both. Gina was no longer just a researcher. Her hands had guided missiles. Her brain had planned an attack. She looked at her own hands. They seemed different now. Stronger. Tegek's computer systems hummed. The ship was changing too. Information from the raiders' base flowed through its systems. New knowledge. New power. We collected important data, the ship said. Chunho's mechanical eye zoomed in, focused on a holographic display. Raider movement patterns. Communication networks. Secret bases. Gina's research crystals connected to Tegek's systems. Quantum information mixed with military tracking data. They are planning something big, Chunho said. His voice was different now. Not just a soldier. Something more. Gina understood. Her people had always believed in knowledge. But now she understood something else. Sometimes knowledge must be protected. Sometimes it must be fought for. Tegek's lights changed color. From blue to green. A sign of agreement. Days passed. Chunho recovered. His body became more machine. But his spirit remained human. Gina taught him about her people's research. He showed her military strategies. They became more than just partners. A team. The raiders destroy civilizations, Chunho said one night. They take everything. Gina nodded. She remembered her destroyed colony. The research, the people. We will stop them, she answered. Their mission was clear now. Not just survival. Not just revenge. But protection. Tegek's systems continued gathering information. The ship was more alive now. Part machine. Part something else. Chunho could control the ship with his thoughts. Gina could send quantum communication signals faster than light. They were different now. Changed. Outside, stars continued their silent dance. Space remained vast and dark. But something had changed. A small hope against a big enemy. The universe watched. Waiting. The final battle came quickly. Chunho was hurt again. Badly. Energy weapon burns covered his body. Cybernetic systems flickered. Damaged. Gina worked fast. Her hands moved like lightning. No longer just a researcher, a healer, a fighter. Tegek's systems were dying. The ship shook. Massive raiders surrounded them. Weapons charged, ready to destroy everything. We cannot lose, Gina said. Her quantum communication crystals glowed. Bright yellow light filled the ship's interior. The last pieces of her people's research, the last hope. Chunho's body was more machine now. Gina connected special medical systems, new cybernetic parts, designed from her research, from his military technology. This might kill me, Chunho said. Gina looked at him, no fear in her eyes. Or save us all. Tegek's computer spoke. Broken. Damaged. Final protocol activated. The ship was changing. Merging. Chunho's body connected directly to Tegek's systems. Gina's quantum crystals powered everything. A burst of energy. Blue. Green. Yellow. The raiders' ships stopped. Frozen in space. Chunho's new cybernetic body glowed. Part human. Part machine. Part something else. Gina's quantum systems created a shield. Impossible to break. Impossible to understand. We are the guardians now, Tegek said. The ship transformed. No longer just a machine. A living weapon. A protector. Chunho could control entire star systems with a thought. Gina could send information faster than light. Tegek connected everything. The raiders tried to attack. Their weapons did nothing. One by one, Raider ships disappeared, pushed out of our dimension, sent somewhere else. Junho looked at Gina. She looked at him. No longer strangers, no longer alone. A Keldarian researcher, a human soldier, a talking ship. Something new had been born. Outside, stars continued their silent dance. Space remained vast and dark. But something had changed forever. The universe watched and remembered.